That's because I muted it. Can we try now? How's it now? Now the microphone's turned on. Oh dear. Let's hope that's the worst it gets tonight. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is it better now that you can, or can you hear me? Am I quiet? We can hear you. How is it? Do I need to turn it up, turn it down? Turn the background down? Music game is loud. All right, that I can solve. How is that? How is that? So let's just get the volumes right so that you can hear me, you can hear the game, because there's awesome audio in the game. Right. Woohoo! I think we're there. I think we're there. Welcome, folks. It's a dovetail stream. We are looking at Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. Is title right? I've no idea. Dimitri, is the title right? We are looking at the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, which was launched last Tuesday. Yes, so we're going to run some stuff on that. I picked some bits out of Journey and some other stuff. Let me just have a look at my list of what I'm going to run tonight. So we are going to run the 45. Got to run the 45. And we are going to go into the Journey, and we are going to get the third entry from this one, which is Bochum-Duisburg. Let's run that one, shall we? The music will be on. The music is in the game, MFK. Right. Hopefully you can all see in here. One thing we do need to do before we do anything else is PZB CIFA. Turn the lights on. Key in and on. And open the doors. Oh dear. Everybody, please get on board this train. No, I'm not speaking German, so you probably don't understand a word I'm saying. That's it. Let's told them. Passenger lights on. Where's Dimitri? Dimitri. So we're all working from home now. Just as with many people in the country, we're all working from home. So I'm at home. Dimitri's at home. Everyone's at home. Dimitri's on the chat though. Hey there, Tintin. I know I need to turn that up. That's better. Get some gauge lights on. How are we looking out here? Oh, Nick Steinsteigen, that's not good. We're in R11 service to Duisburg. We want to go right, that one. Where is R11? To Ham. That's it. That's us. Oh, am I running in the wrong units? Super frustrating. It's now running in the correct units. 8:35, 9 seconds away. Close the doors. Good evening, Moggy. Right. It's a westbound service. Restriction. Monitoring. We've got nothing ahead of us we need to worry about. Gun it up to the sweep. Volmic, there are 2 or 3 areas where the speeds have somehow got set really low for no good reason. It is on a fix list. I believe the internal versions have already got the fix, so at some point there'll be an update and the speeds changed back to where they should be. There's a freight train. So I should make it clear, I'm running this with main Specibahn installed, so the AI trains that you're going to see on this are both from Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr and from the main Specibahn add-on as well. Which means you get I think it's about 200 AI services, or 200 total services if you haven't got main specified, and it's about 374 if you do have main specified, which means not only more for you to do, but more for you to see as well. Move the microphone slightly closer, like this. Is that better? This one of the things that separates this route is it's quite fast. You do spend more time at 160, but you do need to be wary of speed reductions. When you see speed reductions coming up, you need to really be paying attention to them because there are speed detection signals, speed detection PZB magnets that will punish you. Game audio is rather loud. Okay. How's that? Right. 2.2 kilometres to our next waypoint. Got 100 kilometre coming up after it. So this one always sneaks up on me because I'm thinking, it's miles away. And then all of a sudden it's just round the corner at the end up here. Coming into one side now. Everyone mostly comes to see these streams to observe my amazingly bad pronunciations of place names. It doesn't even matter if it's a British place name; it's still probably pronounced incorrectly. Dosto train coming in on the other side over there. Unlock the door. 82, you're enjoying the MP15. Awesome, glad you're enjoying that. How's everyone else getting on with the MP15? We're doing Duisburg to Bochum. Which one? Because you've got the S-Bahn lines, the RE lines. So if you're doing like I'm doing RE11, then it's Ham-Westfalen, I think it is. If I'm doing RE11 Bochum Duisburg. Oh, Duisburg Bochum will be M Gladbach on the RE11 services. Hey, Bolt. Right. Close the doors in a minute. Give it privacy. Train's pointing north, wrong destination. Is it? I thought M Gladbach was was in the west. Have I got that wrong? We're not any kind of monitoring. Let's go walk factor 10. Speed limit 100 kilometers an hour. Yes, we're going west, Beachley. Are we going west? Yeah, we are going west. Oh, yeah, we are right. You are right. I have got the wrong destination. I never promised to be competent, I just promised to be here. Right, next station is Essen. So we're on the north branch at the moment. So this route is split into two. As you come out of Bochum, you then run the Regent Express trains up here, and the S-Bahn trains run down this bit here, and then the rest of the route is common. This bit kind of serves as a bit of a racetrack, to be honest. There's quite a lot going on. At least I drive a piece. I have to drive a piece of beyond. I have to drive a piece of beyond. Even if it inevitably goes wrong. So Essen is 5.5 kilometres away, and 1.5 kilometres we get the drop to 140. We'll get a speed warning on that one shortly. I always acknowledge reductions. It's just not a bad habit to get into. You're brave having signal aspect off. Yeah, just pay attention. It's all good. What could go wrong? ...140 kilometres an hour from this point. Round the corner. This route is quite tricky. You get wet as Wangsbremsen more than we normally do. Yeah, the speed reductions are because they've got teeth. The speed reductions on this route. If you're doing 160 and it says go down to 130, you need to be getting down to 130 sharp, like, because it will be checking your speed halfway between and making sure you're on the right, you're on track. Down to 100. On the Switch you can never wear the bell doesn't activate when the horn. Well, it's done the way it's like that's the way it is in real life, but I can see why you might get that might be annoying. I'll have a think. Will coronavirus affect future DLC releases? Hopefully not. Everybody is busy working from home now, and has been largely unaffected in their what we've been doing since we started working from home last week. So all good so far. The team have been doing an amazing job. S-Bahn S2 sitting over there. Most meetings online run. I mean, these days everything is done online. Meetings, one-to-one conversations, group conversations, all done online. When we're in the office, we try and just, you know, be next to each other, because that's always better. Can you set destination signs? Yeah, it's done using the FIS function on the left screen. So if you click FIS, it tells you that I've got 2 units here. If I click that, I can then individually set train 1 or train 2, or Zugverb, which will set both of them together. You then use these functions to choose which one you want. Press the E key to accept it, and the G to get out of it again. Dead easy. I can't remember which ones are which, but at Essen there are services which the S2 I think goes in and just up, literally just goes up there and backwards and forwards up there, and one of them I think is down here and it just goes down to the portal down here. I can't remember which one S6 is though. Oh, it's time to lock the doors. Rhein-Ruhr. Nothing funky on the PZB. Got a 143 sitting on the Dostos over there. Jaff Duman, thank you very much for the mixer sparks. Speed limit is currently 100 kilometers an hour. It is going up to 130 shortly. Got 9 kilometers, so we'll be getting up some speed again. As you can see, when you're running the RE lines, you get a decent turn of speed. Sean Lowe on the Hauptstrecke. What does BL146 185 Doppelstock run? So you can only put Nick Heinsteigen in those ones because they don't have destinations for this route. Right, up to 130. That's it. Limit's up to 160 now. Hey there, DJ SB. How's it going? Yes, I've become aware of that train spotting Nordost, so if I get an opportunity to, I will. Oh, I don't know how I got that wrong. Right, we're doing 160. Got a 130 coming up between here and Mullum. This unit only allowed 140. Yeah, the way I drive it though. .422 over on the left. PDX Mark, yeah, I've been forwarding some of the feedback that I've seen on the manual to Steve, who made the manual. So I appreciate that. Formic, thank you very much for the 1,000 sparks. It's a relaxation panda. $130 starting here. Muggy, we've all come to the conclusion it's a cat on a pie. Oh, I got caught out by the speed reductions. Too much time looking at chat. Yeah. Shut up, PZB. What did I do to upset you? Yeah, it slowed me down just exactly to stop at the 100 limit as well. Look at that. James, I'm going to drive the 425 in this direction, the 422 in the other direction, and I thought I'd run some freight. And then we'll see what the time is. Caught out staring at a cat in a pie, yeah. Of course, there's me gunning it back up to the speed limit, and I'm stopping here. Would that mean you're fired in real life? No. Probably have to ask some questions, answer some questions though. And I guess the answer to those questions would be quite important. I pushed all the right buttons, just not necessarily in the right order, Volmic. Happened every time there, but nothing was showed. Well, I was approaching 100 speed limit and I was doing 125, so I'm assuming that there's a GUS magnet there that tripped me for not being down to about 110 by that point. I'll watch the stream back later on and just double check. You always say Matt never fails, Samson. Hard lessons to be learned there. The Dosto destinations are only in Liechtenstein because they're from a different route. So they haven't actually got the destinations in them for this route. So that's all they can be. Right, Duisburg, platform 4 in 7.6 kilometres. Current speed is 100 kilometres an hour. Mole Junction, I thought at 8 o'clock we'd take a couple of minutes to just give some applause to the NHS, yeah. They're doing a sterling job. Hey Clausod, I'm doing well, thank you. Right, 120, that's the limit's just gone up a bit more. S-Bahn's 42, sorry, on S-Bahn over the other side there. So we've got our 150 limit. There's a lot of people asking, will there be, can you make type questions, and can't answer things that aren't about content that's out yet, that there's not announced or anything. But suffice to say, they're all good options or good suggestions. By the way, but yes, that's why I can't answer you. Has everyone seen the donkey? It's kind of a ritual. The art team like to put the donkey on the route somewhere. What I really enjoy about driving on this route is there's no straight lines. It's always going left, right, up, over. It's always interesting. And of course in autumn we've got these lovely golden trees. favourite route currently in TSW? That's tough. Because it really depends. Same as if you asked me about that in the original TS. It really depends on what I want to do. This is one of my favourite routes at the moment in terms of my favourite German routes. My favourite German route used to be main Specibahn. I'd say it was this now and then main Specibahn. But then they're pretty close together. I don't know what my all-time favourite route would be, to be honest. They're all good. Don't make me pick. How to enable PCB for there are switches over here. You turn this one left and you turn this one left. If you're on the keyboard, Control Enter and Shift Enter. Right, let's drop the speed down. Now down to 100. Looks like there's no GUS magnets on that one. Oh no, here they are. Yeah, these are the GUS magnets. So this magnet arrangement here that you see, one leading magnet, then two very close by, basically they're checking your speed. And if your speed is detected to be too fast, it's an enforced 2000 Hz, which will always stop the train. Below 85. And we're coming into Duisburg. Quite distinctive station visage on Duisburg. Kind of looks like a giant warehouse. 500 Hertz because we're approaching a red, which is, be careful, you're not stopping at that red, you're stopping at this red. Right here. What's my favourite German train in TSW? Oh, I like the 155. I'm going to be driving the 155 later on. It just sounds good, it feels good. I'm more of a fan of slightly older stuff than modern. Just because it feels like I've got more to do in the older stuff. Modern stuff is all about giving the driver less to take their focus away from just driving down the tracks. Which is a good thing in the real railways. But no, I quite like the classic German stuff. And that's your lot. What do we get? Do we get gold? We got gold! Right. Let's go back to the menu and find what I was going to do next. Back into journeys. The reason I'm picking the journeys, by the way, is because when the journeys are set up, they're actually just service. They're picked from the service list, but they're picked, and then there's weather patterns are set up on them and so forth. So they're just like a predefined thing that should just look good without having to always end up with spring, no clouds, as a lot of people I know have said they end up with because they don't set it. S1, fourth from the bottom. Duisburg, Bochum. So we're going back the other way this time. Matt, do I like pacers? Heck yes. What is not to like about pacers? It's clapping time. Oh, come on, folks. Let's have a round of applause. I'm going to move the microphone away because that's always going to hurt your ears. Round of applause for the NHS. Absolutely fantastic. Got to show your support. And even if you're not in the UK, your local health service are going to be going out of their way, putting themselves at risk to help you. So come on, let's get a round of applause going. People are going to be standing out on their front doors. They're going to be leaning out on balconies, and they're going to be clapping. So maybe go and step out and let's get a round of applause for health workers everywhere. Show our appreciation. She just woke up, looked at the TV and ran away. Oh dear. Right, let's put that on. Put that in there. And I need to open the doors on the left. Passenger lights on. We've got the main lights on. This time we are running an S1 service, and this time we are going eastbound. Which is to Solingen, isn't it? I think it's Solingen. Can't remember. I think Dusseldorf is on the east and Dortmund is on the left, or have I got that wrong? No, I think I've got that wrong. Oh, my geography doesn't work. It's Dortmund, is it? There you go. Thank you. There was two choices. I was going to get the wrong one. This is something we know as a fact. Are all the doors shut now? They are. See you later, Moggy. Oh, hang on. Surprised you aren't all having words about this. No PZB. About restricted monitoring. Nothing to worry about. We're good. Up to the speed limit, 80 kilometers per hour. See you later, Ronick. So this pattern, which is an S-Bahn pattern rather than a regional express pattern, is going to be stopping at a lot more stations. So this journey is going to take a fair bit longer. In time of spreading coronavirus, will be development of future content delayed or database future. Another team is still busily working at CFOS Kill. So, being in the games industry, we're actually really privileged to be able to work quite well from home. So the company, all the people, staff in the company are now working from home, and so far everyone is having a good time in being able to continue being productive. So. There should be no problem. A big shout out to the team, actually. They've done such a good job in relocating themselves to working from home, which is no small feat, and actually getting used to it, because if you're used to working in an office, working from home is different. Right, Mullenrustharum. Yeah, I've got no idea how to pronounce it properly. Don't have a go at me. No brakes, full power like Colonel Failure does. Well, I try not to use the brakes too much, but sometimes the train has other ideas and puts them on for me. 2.2 kilometres to our stop. That That means we're okay for the 140. At least you don't have to get dressed to work at home. Yeah, but then you do video conference calls and that's just awkward. Favourite train in Train Sim World? Ooh. I'd have to think about that. I like BR Blue, but the thing with me is when someone says, "What's your favourite train?" The problem is I like all trains. They're all different. They've all got things that are really cool about them. Like this one's got PZB. It's got the interactive panel for the AEA destination boards. It's fast. It's responsive. It's really quite a nice train to drive, like the 425. But then something like the Class 40 on Northern Transpennine, it's just amazing. I love it. But for different reasons entirely, because there's next to nothing in the cab. Right, let us open the doors. No pants, nobody notices. Thanks, Clemmy. Seems to be a little bit more going on the line this time. Better start working from home makes it hard to set boundaries between fun and work. That's one of the habits you've got to get into when you work from home is you've got to set those boundaries. And it's up to you to set those boundaries. But yes, it is difficult. But the company, Dovetail, is also offering a lot of support for team, for all of the staff to, if they're having problems or questions or they want advice, the team are, the team is ready to answer those questions all the time, which is really, really good. So we're getting a lot of support from the company. Right, we are currently 140, coming down to 120. 2.7 kilometres. No station lighting. Oh, there should be station lighting, Sean Lowe. I'll have a look at that later. Definitely got 15 hours of work left. What do you do? No, slow down. Pressing the wrong button. Come out of 1000 Hertz monitoring. And we're just coming into Rhein-Ruhr at the moment. All the brakes needed there. All the brakes. Oh, we're going to get a bit of a race going on now. I like some of the little races that happen on this route where you got side-by-side running. Come on, passengers, hurry up, they're getting away. And they're probably faster than us. We may not catch up with them now, but let's see. "90 kilometres an hour limit, coming into a 120. We're almost up to the 90. "6 kilometres till our next station stop. Essen-Fronhausen. Bahnhofi Pie, yeah. Oh, here he is in the distance, look. Come on. Come on, you can do it. A German diesel train would be awesome, Zusi Train Sim, and 2 or 3 other people have asked for it. No plans to share on that at the moment. Get to speed up again in a minute. Oh, I think we're catching up! Right, push it up to 140. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We are going to overtake. At the point we can't see anything. Oh, come on, game. Really? That's not satisfying at all. We went over the top of each other. What do you think? We're both doing 140, eh? 1.4 kilometres till my stop. He won't be stopping at Frauenhausen. I'm going to get ready to stop. I love the fact that lines are on different heights and all sorts of things. It's a really, really interesting journey in my view. Yeah, that's the train that was on our right a minute ago. We sort of crossed over each other. Oops. Drop the anchors. Didn't really need to drop the anchors. Any intercity travel trains such as ICU 3? Again, it comes into the category of there's nothing to announce at the moment. All these ideas are really good. If you've got particular suggestions that you want to make, by all means jump onto our forums, forums.dovetailgames.com, and outline what you think would be a cool idea. Jaff Dooman completed 2 NTP services and now watching your channel. Excellent. Welcome to the stream, Jaff. Essen West, station density goes up a little bit now. You've got Essen Frauenhausen, Essen West, and then Essen. All right next to each other. There's no plans to add the destination panel on the BR143 at this point. Right, coming into Essen West. And Intercity 125 is already in the game, Sir Harry. It's on the Great Western Express route. Tracks Dutch, I don't quite follow what you're asking. We'll be going via Watershed Hontrop on this service, actually. We'll be taking the southern branch for the S-Bahn trains down this way. Oh, it's time to go. Stop daydreaming, Matt. I think it's just hosting Do Not Disturb on my channel. Right. Essen is next, 2.2 kilometers. Got a speed drop to 110 coming up. We're going around past Essen Depot at the moment. We're trying to roll out driving the 422 or the 425. Of the two, probably the 425. But then I like new shiny things, so... Or not shiny things in this case. James, if you have any Australian routes that you'd like to see, jump onto our forums at forums.dovetailgames.com and drop in suggestions for the sorts of content you'd like to see in Australia. I spent about 3 months living in Sydney, so I rode some of the trains out there, and it's I'd like to see some of that stuff too, actually. One of my relatives is a driver, an engineer on the freight trains out there. Can never remember the name. Time to lock the doors. Essen Steel, which is actually the first station on the South Branch. Oh, nice one done at the stove. Just watching my speed. What German S-Bahn trains do I like most? I've not really ridden on a lot of them. I did get the opportunity to. One time we went to Gamescom, I rode on a 423, and that was quite good. I enjoyed that. But I've not really ridden on a lot of them in reality, so. I do quite like the 423, 44, 45, 46. That general series. They're quite interesting. They're very almost industrial. They've got a purpose. They're functional trains, but they're quite fun to drive. And the one I rode on took me to Gamescom very efficiently, so I can't really complain. No, Deutsche Bahn don't actually run to Essen-Kreisel, Sean Lowe. It's another operator that runs to Essen-Kreisel. I believe it's VRR or something. On RB40, as someone said. I think this is us heading southbound now, isn't it? Yeah. This is us taking the south branch. Just realised we're probably stopping here. Trimix, I'm running on a 980 Ti. I don't remember what my graphics settings are. Unfortunately, my normal setup for streaming died literally 2 minutes before I was about to start the stream. The PC turned itself off, and now it has no idea what streaming hardware is, which is a bad thing. So I knocked this up in 10 minutes and I managed to get something working. So mine's a 6700K processor with a 980 Ti graphics. 750 Ti should be fine, to be honest. It's on the low end. I think it is min spec, but it's good to get going with. And the 6700 CPU is a monster. Is that the 4 gigahertz part? Mine's overclocked at 4.6, which helps a lot. The German subway in TSW. There is a good one on TS1, isn't there? The Frankfurt U-Bahn, which is really, really good. Sorry, my nose is playing up. Essen Steel Ust is next. With an advance warning for 90 kmh. S1 means S-Bahn line 1. So this route you'll find S1, S2, S3 and S6, I think. S1 and S3 are drivable, 2 and 6 are just there for AI in Essen. And then you've got other lines like RE1, RE2, RE6, RE11 and RB33, which are also in the route. RB meaning Regional Bahn, which is for like local stopper type trains that go a longer distance. A regional express are for the ones that travel longer distance and don't stop very often. I have no idea what an Intel Pentium N4200 can do, to be honest, James Brythe. Is it not S6? I might have misremembered that train spotting. I can't remember now. There was one that, like I said, runs... it goes into this platform, I think, and then runs down here. I can't remember what S-Bahn that one is. Lock the doors. I'm losing most of my time because I'm not paying attention. An i7 8700K with a 2080. I think that will probably do the job, Graf. It's a lot faster than my machine. 90 kmh from this signal. Esseneiberg is next. There's tons and tons of requests for content coming through. It's really cool. I can't say anything about any of them, unfortunately. What I'd say is, if there's a New York subway route that you want, or a long route that you want, go onto the forums and tell us what you want to see. Which long route? Why? Why is RB40 not in the game? Because it's not operated by Deutsche Bahn, Gregor. It's operated by another operator in different class of train. I think they use Linz or Flirts or something like that. So it wasn't included. Shut the door. I should be, I'm hopefully reading all three game rate. Thanks to the power of Restream. Right, 90 kilometres now, going up shortly to 120, and double green on the Vor signal. Waschenscheid, Hontrop, there you go. My pronunciation's just getting better as the stream goes on. Does the safety system work on the MP36? I think the MP36 has an alerter, but that's it. It doesn't have a it's PTC system, because at the time that the team went out and did the survey on the Caltrain line, their PTC system wasn't enabled yet, so we couldn't have got any information on how it works. But I gather it in reality it is now live from talking to somebody on Discord, but not in the game, no. 1.7 kilometres. Mark, I'm playing on my PC. Yeah, laptops, yeah, they're good portability. The laptop I use at work now is one of the NVIDIA Max-Q type laptops. It's got i7 8th generation, or sorry, i7 9th generation, sorry, CPU. It's got a 1080, sorry, a 2070 RTX graphics in it. And this thing is so light. It's unbelievably small and light. I just couldn't believe it. Having carried around 14 house bricks in my previous gaming laptop, it's unbelievable. How's the heat on it? Well, when you start playing games or loading editors and things like that, it does start to levitate with the fans going off, to be fair. George, just a quick question about console. Do you think they have more routes like what Steam has on to buy? So, yeah, every time there's a new route released for Train Sim World, it is released across all three console, the Xbox, PlayStation 4 and PC on Steam all together. And don't forget Xbox Game Pass as well. If anyone here hasn't actually even played Train Sim World, if you happen to have an Xbox Game Pass subscription on Xbox and PC, then you can just play it for free. Bochum Ehrenfeld, penultimate station from Bryony. We would be able to do a round trip without the AI taking over the train. That depends on the route. So some of the routes are more end-to-end routes, and then you don't have a problem with that. So as long as you don't mind with a long gap, the Caltrain route, you can drive into San Francisco and then wait sometimes hours and then drive it back again. Some of them come back fairly quickly, so it's just finding them. But yeah, that one's very much a route specific thing. Game Pass version is the base game, and all the DLC is available to buy, but it's not actually part of the free part of it. Well, it's all discounted on Xbox Game Pass. Ooh, sounds like something freighty going on over there. Now we join back up with the other line. So that freight train that just went past us is there. Why else it be not in Train Sim World? Just hasn't been done yet, like many things. I think it was quite a long time before LZB showed up on even the original Train Sim. Hey Jim Oates, how are you doing, sir? Right, we've gone past the sidings at Bochum, into Bochum Ehrenfeld. We're still only running about 90 seconds behind schedule. We're not doing terribly bad. Stern words and a bit of a ribbing when I get back to the depot, but nothing too serious. Good evening, Felix the Weiss. On the Dovetail forums, where do you suggest routes? I can't remember exactly what the path is to get to it. There's a community suggestions section in there somewhere. Right, block on platform 8, 1.3 kilometres. Speed limit 120, dropping to 100 after we finish it. So it's 120 all the way now. Hopefully we won't be doing 120 as we hit the platform. That needs acknowledging. And we don't want to exceed 85. Hey RB Jets! Welcome to the stream. No texting while driving. Everyone just needs to stop sending me texting. I've only had a couple of disasters so far from paying attention to chat. Ready to go for a 24-hour stream? You betcha! Although maybe once I've got streaming hardware that works. I'm going to spend a bit more time on it tonight, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to take it out the back and spray a hose pipe on it all, just to take out my stresses and tensions. Oh no! There's a collectible poster over there. No, I have two. Well, let's do the doors. Let's let everybody else on. Yeah, whatever, boring. Oh, that's better. I feel better for that now. Even if it's the only collectible I do, if I see an empty poster, I have to do something with it. You have no idea how much it triggered me when I went to a local superstore and there was an empty poster board out the front. It's like, nah, you can't do that. Yay! Ah, look at that. Not too much breaking of the speed limit going on there. And we got a gold. I'll take that gold. Thank you very much. Right, now, service mode. What did I pick? So one of the things or reasons I wanted to do freight is I wanted to introduce the way that some of the freight works, because I know it's confusing some people, because it's a bit different and possibly frustrating if you're not expecting it. Let me put that up there. Let's go for autumn, actually. Autumn. No, go the right way. Autumn, cloudy. Take that down. Push the wind up. Right, should we have a little bit of misery as well while we're at it, and plop the wetness up. Excellent. Right, so it's, what number did I say? 87203. Let's see how time goes train spotting Nordost. I could look at doing an RE2 after this. Right, so this is a freight service, and you notice you start off with a red light. Now, sometimes there's a gap on these freight services. It can be even up to 15 minutes because you're trying to wait for a slot to get onto the main line. And freight on this particular route here doesn't really run all that frequently on this line at all. You are a second-class citizen on this route as freight. The actual freight services run up here somewhere on the other line. So the delays are there just to sort of accentuate the fact that you shouldn't be here. Even though you are. Right, let's headlight. Put the dial lights on. Put those lights on. Put these lights on. I think I've now got all the lights on. Good. Let's turn the tractive force selector to minimum for getting started. Come down here. Put C for on and PZB on. Although PZB... Actually, yeah, there's no hills on this to speak about. We'll deal with the M. That was fine. Good. Compressor automatic. Put the tractive motor fans on. Davis Gaffney, how many services scenarios will there be? Do you mean on this route? This route has got something like 370 odd services. If you own main specified barn as well, it's about 200 if you don't. Scenarios there are 5, I think. Headlights. Oh, we turned the headlights on already, didn't we? We did. We have headlights. I think we're waiting for him. No, he's going the wrong way. We're waiting for a different him. So this service has about a 5-minute wait. But when you start these services, the freight services, be prepared for a little bit of a wait. And you'll notice if you look on the map that you're not waiting without reason. There's going to be a green light somewhere. There you go. There's where the train is due to come flying through. So, yeah, if you keep an eye out, there he is. That's the one we're waiting for. There's only one train goes past on this particular one, but one of the services I did, there were about 9 or 10 trains. Just the main line was busy. It was amazing to watch. And I think there was a 10-minute wait on that one, and it didn't feel like 10 minutes, to be honest. But do be prepared for a little bit of a wait sometimes on the freight. What it does is it makes you feel much more like a second-class citizen when you're running these trains. Now I am going to put the direct brake on and key in. The brakes. Let's get the reverser into forward. That way the wagon brakes are coming off. We're still held down by the loco brake, but because it'll take a minute for the wagon brakes to come off. And I know this one will free me up in about a minute or so. Hopefully there's some wipers somewhere, if I can remember where they are. Who can tell me where the wipers are? I don't know where the wipers are. Oh, they're around here. Aha! We got wipers. There he goes. Mark, so this train comes as part of main specified barn, and this is one of the freight services that's added if you've got the main specified barn route. The 2 trains that come with the route are the ones I ran earlier on. There we go, we've got our light. Because we already released the wagon brakes, we can make a fairly quick run. Notch up. This is quite heavy trains. All of the trains on this route are set to be loaded, so that they are much heavier, and there's so that you've got to practice a bit more and think a bit more ahead when you're trying to speed up and slow down. So you're going to have to think about that. Don't get complacent. After driving the EMUs, this thing is a different beast. It really is. The wheel thing is the throttle control. So it's basically I'm turning it round to the notch position that I want to be on, and then it's setting that target notch based on that. Now I'm only set at 50% traction force selector, so that I don't have any wheel slips or anything. But as I turn that up, you'll see that it matches the target. Right, released from monitoring. Yeah, good for 70 kilometers an hour. I'm going to pull the tractive force meter up to 100%. I've decided I am going to run it at 90 kilometers an hour. Because this thing is heavy. Graph, this loco hasn't been upgraded. This is as it was. All the locos should have rain on them, rain effect on the windows. Yeah, steering wheel is the throttle. Yeah. Welcome, Emma. No fancy cruise control or anything on this one. I've got to really think ahead with this one, because if you're sitting here at tap 15 and you suddenly get a green-yellow or something and 1000 hertz magnet is hot, then you're in for a world of pain, basically. So you need to be really paying attention and thinking ahead. We're going up a 1 in 77 grade at the moment, which this loco is really powerful, so it'll handle it. You just need to give it a bit more power. Got a Regional Express double stock sitting over there on the left. What do you and don't you like about German trains? I always find it difficult to say what I dislike about trains. What I do like about this PZB is seafront. I just find that they naturally make me pay more attention to what I'm doing. It doesn't always work, but I just really enjoy the PZB system. It's one of those things that, on that odd once in a blue moon occasion where you get it all right, it feels awesome. It feels like you've achieved something. And then on the every other time when you get something wrong, it doesn't feel quite so good. But at least you learn something. You think to yourself, oh, I know I did wrong there. I should have paid more attention, generally. What are we hauling anyway? Habins, Zappins, Lears, Habins. I can't remember what they're called. Steel wagons, Habins and Zackens. Back up to 15, notch 15. Got a tighter gradient. 1 in 80 still going up. With the EMUs, you barely notice these gradients because they just whiz up. Davis, I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Thank you very much. Gently speeding up. 21 kilometres to go. gradient's easing up now, so let's just pull the tap back to 50. Shut up, some fun. Can TSW simulate physics for uncoupled vehicles? Physics for vehicles starts getting expensive in resources, which is why they're not calculated. It's focusing the effort on a super detailed simulation of what's going on your train. If you enable physics on every vehicle in the world, all of a sudden you've got no frame rate. No news about DevTools yet, I'm afraid. Let's tap down. Just cruising along around 100 kilometers an hour. I'm set to PZBM, so I'm allowed to about 120, but I'm not in a rush. I'd rather not run a red light. So the yellow numbers tracks Dutch are telling you just what the e-brake is doing. Nothing else. They're just telling you what the e-brake is doing. So if it's a blended brake or something, it's not quite going to match up. It is a bit confusing. I've no idea train spotting Nordost. Not off the top of my head. Have a look at the real timetable. I set all the train departure times, I think, to match up with real trains. Hey Neil TV8, how's it going, Neil? So far this way run is being relatively event-free. I know one of the other services, you're following a train, so just as you get into a bit of a rhythm like this, all of a sudden you're being slowed down and stopped, and it's super annoying. Intercity services would be good as well, new bricks, wouldn't they? What's your favourite intercity trains? There's an S-Bahn train over there on the right. Coming through Essen at the moment. ICE4 Pischlik PR101. What is the driver icon between the alert and raid icons? So if you've got an Xbox controller plugged in, which I do actually, then what it means is that when you go to an external camera, if you press the Y button, you can change between camera and drone mode. So drone mode means I can use the Xbox controller to fly around. When it says driver, that's using the controls to drive. power just to speed back up to 90 kilometres an hour. One in 67. Bit of a grade coming up here. Swinging around that way. Go downhill now, so I'm going to cut the power. Nova train will be in train sim. That'd be cool. I do quite like the Novas. I take it you mean the Transpennine trains up north, Lancashire Outpost. '90 limit for the crossover. We're on the North Loop now. Go over these junctions and then we'll get speed back up again once we're on the correct track. Good evening, Think Fly New. Fairly level along here. No, there are no German shunters in the game yet, game rate. Hopefully at some point. Rather a bit scrapped. Nice one, Richard. Hey, Gonza Simplayer, how's it going? Cut the power a bit. 98 kilometres an hour. Let's not overdo it. Going downhill now. All the speeds! Hey, Dominic Sanchez, how's it going? When we went to the Crew Open Day, they had one sitting in a siding at Crew, I think, Lancashire. So we're on the Northern Loop coming around to join back up, and then we go into the yard here. Let's just check that the points are okay. They are. That's enough, Sifa. How long does it take to make a route like this? It's probably a good couple of person years, Ralph. Obviously there's quite a large team involved in making it. They come out in not a long amount of elapsed time, but I'd say in person years it's probably a good 2 or 3. That was what inside? 4.6 kilometres to our waypoint now, which will be shortly after we join the main line. Join the S-Bahn line anyway. Green lighty goodness. I'm going to ease some brakes on just to see how well it slows down. It's not too bad actually. Drop down to 75 and release the brakes. Pulling into the yard shortly. Speed drop now to 80, which I think is the junction that crosses us over. What are we going to arrive, fellas? Any minute now. 1.8 kilometres away. SEFA is like the alerter or the vigilance system on UK and US trains. It's just popping up every now and again just to say, are you still awake? And if you don't reply to it, it puts the brakes on. Well, the way SEFA works, you'll get a light come up on the dashboard here on the console, and you'll get, I think, 2.5 seconds with the light on that you can acknowledge, and then an alarm will sound if you don't, and you get another 2.5 seconds, and if that still hasn't woke you up, then the brakes come on. SEFA's not quite the same as AWS, Kyle. AWS is powered by the magnets in the track, which is closer to what PZB is doing, but not quite. Again, it's not as good as PZB. Whereas SEFA is more like DVD on UK trains, the driver vigilance device, or the alerter on American trains. It is just literally it makes a sound, you press acknowledge. James, I thought ATB, if you mean the Dutch system, was more of a cab signalling system, making ATB more like PZB. I might be misremembering that. What's my favourite route? This is my favourite German route, and Main Spessebahn comes a very close second. I'm trying to read everything, guys. Trying to read everything. What trains are on the S-Bahn, the 422 and the 425, James? Default on the sounds, I think, is all 100%, Mark. There we go. A little bit of a overspeed at the end that I didn't spot, but we got a gold medal, so all good. Westbound RE2, Essen-Duisburg. Go on then. That's only a short one, isn't it? We'll do that. Any particular one, Nordost? Make this the last one. Essen-Duisburg, 7:19 AM. That awful thing off. The other thing we need to do is that one and that one. Turn the headlights to the correct setting. Headlights on. No, there's no new destinations on the reused stock because this stock doesn't come with the pack. It's borrowed from the other packs essentially. And the passenger lights. Oh yeah, that's that one. Sometimes you have to go and do it yourself. For those of you that haven't spotted it, you can go in here and press the button. It all worked though, so we're all good. Can't set a destination on this one because it doesn't have a destination on this route. Alvari. Graphics card, I'm using a 980 Ti, Shelby. So in reality the 425 doesn't run S-Bahn services that often as far as I'm aware of. It mostly runs Regional Express and the 422 runs the S-Bahn. Was the sort of the guidance that I generally got. It wasn't, and it's not always the case, but the guidance I got was that generally it was the 422 on the S-Bahn and 425 on the Regional Express, so that's how I split it. Right, stock doors. Just release it straight away. Don't need it. I've got green with green on the Vor signal, so nothing to panic about. Oh yeah, this is the one where it stops in the wrong station. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Nordost. Okay, I misclicked. Oh, 155 coming in with Zackens. Now with this, it does. So if I throttle to 0, back to that, Control R, turn the AFB down, and then put throttle on. We've now got cruise control! The steps for doing that, by the way, let me just turn it off. If you're running like this, to turn AFB on, there's a sequence of steps you need to follow. First is your throttle must be off, so that it can't make any power. AFB must be set to maximum. Set to maximum? Yeah, set to maximum. In these configuration, the train will do nothing because that says go 160 kilometers an hour. That says apply no power, so it won't do anything. At that point, you can press Control R, which will turn AFB on. Now, the other thing is, if you find this setting, there it is. That switch there is your AFB switch. Get there eventually. Then you can turn it on. Control R does it. Once you've done that, set that back to the right speed, and then put your power on. And that's how you can turn AFB on while you're running. No, the 3 numbers in the middle are actually for LZB, Alvari. Right, 3.4 kilometres to a drop to 130. Nothing to announce on LZB yet, Alvari. You've come to haunt me, train boy. Oh no. Somewhere down here there's 130 warning. That's probably it.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Release the brakes because this is protected by the GUS speed magnets. Click the traction lock out. Yeah, PZB was mean to me as well tonight, train boy. It was all PZB's fault. Not due to my incompetence whatsoever. It's me! How's it going?
Zugbeeinflussung. SIFA.
That's the GUS for the 100. 2 kilometres until we actually stop. That's AFB, the cruise control, train boy. No, I was using my brakes to slow as well, Eds. You're not paying attention. Definitely don't use AFB to rely just to slow down. Crikey. Oh, that's not just roulette, that's just silly. AFB works in the 146.2, yes, Trade Boy. Which is what I'm driving at the moment. There's more to it than just repainting it though, Train Sim World on PS4. It requires different interiors, different numbers of carriages. There's a lot. It's always more than just a repaint, unfortunately. AFB works great, Train Boy, but there's two sets of instructions for how you have to activate it, depending on whether you're stationary or whether you're moving. You have to get it right, otherwise it won't activate. Set to the left. Now, 300 metres to go, still doing 100 kilometres now, that's just me normally. Let's drop that to 40. Ice, please, on TSW. I'd like an ICE as well. Oh, Dostos and more Eastbound trains. Oh no, that's a regional express, that one. Come on, passengers, you're getting in the way of driving trains. As we accelerate, monitor PZB, nothing going on, so accelerate to the limit. Next station is Duisburg in 6.8 kilometres. The 182 works as a freight train, Andrew Fernando, so it works on the freight services. I think there are 30 freight services. The 182, the 155 loco DLCs work on this. And main Spessartbahn's trains work on it. If you've got main Spessartbahn, which activates the extra layer, the layer with extra trains on it, then it'll also allow you to use the Ruhr-Sieg trains, like the BR143 can be used down there. And the BR143 can be used on freight and passenger. Not all of them, but some of them. It is a bit confusing, but essentially, once you've got MSB, it opens up the layer, and then lots of stuff can substitute. Why can't you drive the BR182 Regional Express? So the overwhelming guidance that we get is that people want things to be as real as possible, and the BR182, as far as I'm aware, only does passenger on the Leipzig line, which is why we've never looked at doing it for other lines. Regional Express going the other way.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Oh, bullet trains would be cool. One of my son's favourite trains is the Series 500 over in Japan. Yeah, I do acknowledge everything now. It's Blade of Grass goes by. Acknowledged. Overhead catenary. Acknowledged.
Zugbeeinflussung. SIFA. Zwangsbremsung.
Oh,
Zwangsbremsung.
thought I'd
Zwangsbremsung.
done that.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbremsung.
While we're doing down, let's drop that to 40.
Zwangsbremsung. 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 Zwangsbremsung.
I didn't acknowledge a bird. Oh, is that what it was?
Zugbeeinflussung.
Right. Oh well. Oh, is that same one that you sent me, Kanza? Okay, I have got the Mr. Signalman looking at that stuff actually. So AFB set to 40 is a good way of not accidentally forgetting that you're limited to 40 now you're in restriction. Rip, thank you very much, Boggy. 45 for MSP. It's something I'd like to do at some point, Ramon, but there's no plans to talk about yet on that one. I did suggest that to Dimitri, but he said no. He is on the chat as long as he hasn't fallen asleep.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Are you still there, Dimitri? Hello, Zahari. We passed earlier on. Driver is laughing his head off.
SIFA.
He's
SIFA.
saying, I know exactly what you just did. There's Dimitri, look. No, the 425 doesn't work on any other routes at the moment, Ramon. I think if we go when it starts going elsewhere, the MSB is where I'd like to put it first.
SIFA. SIFA.
What's my favourite ICE? I don't know, I like them all. It's my hard to do anything.
Zugbeeinflussung.
I think there was a bit of gravel there I needed to acknowledge. Hey, Stephen. I almost never press free these days, Eds. Just too paranoid.
SIFA.
Train boy, do you mean AFB? Hello, that's the horn. Press the right button, Wally. Le toot. Das toot. Alright, I'll start one more, but I'm not going to run it all the way. I'll just to show you how to set AFB up from a standing start. And then we'll call it a night. Trying to remember how you do it now. The 6-car Dosto consist. I did wonder whether people would notice that, Prof. Kryptonius. Had to add that one in specially. Right. Look at the amazing job I did of driving that. It was amazing. There were no spads there whatsoever. Right, let me just start a quick one with the 146 so I can show you how to do the AFB. Which is this. Let's start at Duisburg. Thank you, the Arid. I will pass that on to the team. Right, so if you wish to get started and you want to have AFB on, get the cab prepared first, put your brakes on, let's unlock the doors so that we're ready to go. Now turn AFB on.
AFB.
Turn AFB on. It's just Control R. In the standing start position, throttle and AFB are off and you turn the AFB on. If you're on a console, it's internal cameras and you want under desk left side and then turn that switch on.
AFB.
Internal cameras, driver's seat. Well, you can press left or right arrow a bunch of times until you find it. Once you've got, what you're looking for is blue arrows to appear. If the blue arrows have appeared, AFB is on. What's the difference when you're moving? So let me turn it off. The key thing to remember about when you're enabling AFB is, if enabling AFB would cause the train to make sudden changes to its throttle, it won't do it. So have your settings here. Are they set up so that something would happen if you enable AFB? If so, it won't work. So you need to make a configuration here that does nothing. And I'll show you what that is once we get going. In 35 seconds. You drive this loco with 2 aviation throttles. Nice. No, train boy, it's even simpler than that. It's even simpler than that. It's actually full throttle. You set that to that. But I'll show you why when we get going. Because that probably makes no sense. Why would you set it to maximum? That's just crazy talk. Matt, you don't know what you're talking about. Close the doors. Right, we've got a green signal. Release the brakes. So we're going to get moving without the power of AFB. And then we're going to think, oh, actually, we want to put AFB on. So let's get up to 30 or 40 kilometers an hour. I've not put PZB on because that's not the point. So you're driving along and you suddenly think, actually, I want AFB on. There's two things you've got to do if you're moving. Throttle to 0, AFB to maximum, and then turn AFB switch on.
AFB.
Notice that the blue bars have appeared. Now turn this back to the right speed and put the power on. And you'll find it applies the power and off you go. I think AFB has to be set to maximum, train boy. I think that's the trap that it's looking for. Is does it actually, that has to be at maximum for it to work, because otherwise we'd have to check what speed you're going. Because whereas if it's 160, it knows it's fine. Let's put the speed up to there. Does that make sense? Hopefully that answers the question for everybody. Because I see a number of questions about AFB not all words working. Speed up and down, R and F. F to go down, R to go up. And Control R to toggle it on and off. If you're using a controller, you'll just have to use the controls directly. Yeah, the Talent 2 on Rapid Transit uses the same controller on RF, if I remember rightly. It got updated to the same approach for turning it on and off. Although the rules are different, it's not really AFB, it uses Temper Man. Thank you very much, Shelby. Right, anyway, that was it. I just thought I'd show you how to use AFB. Thank you very much for watching the stream. I do hope that was informative. That was the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. Bear in mind, all the content I was showing here was with the main Spessart installed as well, which means that you get more services. It's almost double the number of services with the Doppelstocks, the freight trains on there as well. So if you don't have main Spessart, it works, but you'll get 200 services, I think, or thereabouts, with the 2S Bahn, with the RE, the 45 and the 42. Sorry, my brain went just completely off for a walk outside. It's having its one walk a day. Yeah, if you've got main Spessart, then you get the other services as well. So I've been running it with all of that stuff installed. So when you get it, if you don't have main Spessart, you'll see less. But get main Spessart as well, because it's awesome. All right, folks. Thanks very much for watching. PMV... Sweden would be awesome. Again, if you've got Swedish routes that you want to see, then go onto our forums at forums.dovetailgames.com and tell us about your favourite routes in Sweden that you'd like to see in the game. All right, folks. See you later. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.